Hello, this is Wmpyr. This time I want to talk about the connection between Defang the snake and the force-to-force block. So yeah, there is a connection there. And the idea of the force-to-force block is, I want you guys to understand, it's very unique. It's very unique. It's a little bit different, like compared to like boxing or kickboxing. When I was doing, uh, well, first I learned Muay Thai kickboxing a little bit, and then I did a little bit of savate and a little bit of boxing. At that time, that was in by that time I was in college. Um, I remember having a hard time with Filipino martial arts because I was also practicing Filipino martial arts at the same time. And it was weird because in boxing or kickboxing, there's a time you defend and there's a time when you attack. And it's all about knowing the right time to switch back and forth smoothly. And obviously, if you attack at the wrong time, you can eat a shot. And if you're defending at the wrong time, you're missing on opportunities, right? But with Filipino martial arts, with Kia, Kali, Escrima, Arnis, we are attacking the whole time. It's not so much I'm thinking defense with the force-to-force block, because the force-to-force block is, like the name goes, it's force to force. So when they're attacking, so if I were to use this in boxing, the concept, if I were to use the principle of force to force block in the world of boxing or kickboxing, when they throw a punch, rather than defending, which is a parry or evasion, bob and weave, or a block, guard and take it, I am punching that punch. So I'm punching it out of the way. That's how I would defend against that punch if I'm going to use force to force block. That's crazy, right? I would like to see a boxer develop that from day one. I bet there are some boxers that do it, but not as like, they'll occasionally do that. A punch is coming in and they'll punch that out of the way. I'm talking about like that's their main. From day one, they start working on that. That would be like a unique style. I would love to see that. Yeah, that would be, I think that I think it's doable. B, I think it can be very, very effective. I'm not saying it's the best style on the planet. Every style can have its weakness, but like, Mayweather's Philly shell style, or Mike Tyson's peekaboo, or Muhammad Ali's snake lick jab, all these different ways of boxing. I think this could also be a style like that. I would love to see it. Um, so anyway, I remember when I was doing boxing, kickboxing, it felt weird going back and forth from Filipino martial arts to that. The best example I could give you guys is when I was doing Taekwondo and Muay Thai kickboxing. The difference of using my foot and my shin, that messed me up. Going from foot to shin, especially obviously on the roundhouse kick, because that's what they share in common, is a roundhouse kick. They do other stuff similar too, but mainly the roundhouse kick. And the roundhouse kick, Taekwondo style with the foot, or not to say that Thai boxers don't do that, but then mainly for me, especially old school Muay Thai, was with the shin, using my shin, and that switching back and forth, it messed me up. It's like I have to recalibrate. The calibration's off. So I had to adjust that each time mentally, and it threw me off, is what I'm saying. Hopefully I do much better now, but I remember back in the day that was difficult for me. Just like this was back in the day, the idea of using offense as defense. And yeah, so how is that connected to Defang the snake? And well, it's connected because in Defang the snake, the core idea is to attack the attack. So when an attack is coming in, I could do a gunting and I cut that attacking arm. So as they're attacking, that arm is vulnerable to my attack. For me to, I get a chance to defang the snake. So it's attacking the attack, right? And once you do that, then the snake can no longer attack you, right? You remove the fangs, then the snake is no longer a threat, kind of thing. So that's kind of the whole idea there. So attack the attack. Well, that's what you're doing with force-to-force block. So it is definite connection there. And the idea of, once again, you're not really thinking defense. I don't care what's coming at me, I'm shooting it down, right? So boom, I'm shooting it down, boom. Or like this, with an open hand, or with a fist, or with an elbow, that destructions, right? Is what we call it in Filipino martial arts. We're doing destructions. In this case, if I just swat it down, it's not going to hurt them, so it's not really a destruction, but it's still, I am attacking the attack. I am, to put it simply, it's a bitch slap, right? I'm bitch slapping their attack, right? It's a slap on steroids. Right? Oh, yeah, the word that I used back in the day was a parry on steroids. That's what I said. That's what I said this was. A swat. You're swatting it down, So even though it's not gonna hurt them if I'm empty-handed, in my brain, I'm still attacking. Is my main point. Now, how do you train this? Well, one of my favorites is to put on a TV show, and every time you see a face, a human face, you punch it, right? You punch the face. And so that's like boxing training. But instead of that, what you can do here is now you can swat it. You swat it down. So instead of punching it, swat it. And there you are getting some repetitions there with force-to-force block practice. So that's it for now. Thank you for viewing, and take care, folks.